Did you read any reports or hear any reports on the news concerning this?
Vaguely little things on the news, didn't want to read them, didn't want to see it.
Okay, so you avoided the stories about it?
Everything.
Frank, do you have any questions concerning that?
Where's the State Theater at?
Collinwood.
And what's it close to?
Huh?
What's it close to?
The Cook brothers are mean, savage people, have no feeling for anybody. Anybody can take a little girl, Dawn Backus, and abduct her, take her down to the basement of the State Theater. 12 years old now, mind you, and abducted off the street, put into a truck, made her lay on the floor, taken down there, made to disrobe. Both people rape her. Then they violated her with a piece of conduit they found down there. And then they took turns bashing her brains out with a cinder block. You tell me something worse than that.
And now we are on the sort of the brink of a decision as to whether or not one of those two is going to get released from jail.
Nathaniel never had a serious record. He had a little marijuana charge one time, and he never got in trouble when Tony was in jail.
Tony had been in prison prior to these, had he not been in prison quite a while?
Yeah,
How well did you know your brother?
I didn't know it.
You didn't know him?
I didn't know it
Until he came home?
until it came home.
How do you get involved in these things with him? What leads to it?
I don't know.
Can't answer that.
Can't answer that.
And so when Tony was home, he got involved with him. Now, when he was involved in the murders he was involved in, such as Thomas Gordon, he was just as vicious as his brother.
Does he do some of these without you?
I mean, I don't discuss what he do, and whatever we did, we didn't discuss. That was the thing. I didn't want to remember, didn't want to discuss. There was no glory in it for me. You know, I don't know about him. To me, out of sight, out of mind. You know, it's nothing I want to remember.
Were you involved in any cases where he was not along?
No.
So each case you were involved in, your brother Tony was along?
Yes.
This involved all young white couples parked and saying goodnight, different locations around the city.
They shouldn't have to worry. All the things they weren't in the wrong places at the wrong time. They were going out on dates. They're going places that, they were nice places and places everybody goes, and they should not have been the victims of these horrendous crimes.
And the parents were fearful, the kids were fearful, and I think the community itself was fearful.
I just couldn't come up with anything to bring me to them quicker. And I got to the point where I hated to go to work because I knew there was going to be another murder. And I felt guilty because they were still out there and we weren't making the apprehension. It was hard to live with. It was tough.
I woke up from a sound sleep and had this idea that, oh my gosh, if they can reopen Sam Shepard, we can use DNA and reopen the Cook brothers.
So she says, well, what do you think about using DNA on the Cook brothers? I said, that's a fantastic idea.
Got the DNA results, which implicated both of those brothers in the rape of Sandra Pogorski and the homicide of Tom Gordon.
So it just gave us hope that now we can get Nathaniel and clear up all these murders that I've known these guys have done for all these years.
It was not going to be an easy prosecution because it was a cold case for 20 years, and that makes any case tough. The lawyers for Anthony Cook and Nathaniel Cook came to us on the weekend before the trial was to begin and asked us would we be willing to consider a plea bargain. And we said we would consider it only if all of the family members involving all of the cases agreed to it, and only if these brothers admitted to every single thing that they had done here in Lucas County. We found somebody from every family, and they all, without exception, said they wanted to know what happened.
Now, after he's been in jail for 20 years, maybe he'll have a hatred when he gets out. Who knows?
We have to honor our commitment. We have to honor our word. We gave our word. We all agreed to do it, and it may happen.
I don't like it. He should never get out. But we have to live by our decisions in this world too.
20 years seemed like a long time 20 years ago. Now we're looking at the end of that 20-year time period. It doesn't seem quite enough.
Oh, sure, he'll be on parole and be very well managed by the court, and they will keep an eye on him. And believe me, the police department will keep an eye on him.
We hope that he's changed. We hope that the 20 years that he's been in prison, coupled with the 20 years that he was free before that, have made him into a person that would never harm anyone else again. But again, how can anybody really know what's in the soul of another man?
Again, I hope he's not released. I hope that the parole authorities keep him forever. He should be in there forever. He was a brutal, sadistic killer when he was with his brother.